You know the feeling, right? You're stuck on hold, you're fighting with some clunky phone menu, or you get a completely useless answer from a chatbot. We've all been there. Well, that entire experience, it's in the middle of a massive, massive shift. We're moving away from those, frustratingly robotic interactions into a brand new era for customer service, one that's powered by some seriously intelligent AI.
So how did we get here? And more importantly, where is this all headed? All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to kick things off with the service revolution that's happening right now. Then we'll dive into what makes these new AI agents so different from the old chatbots. After that, we'll look at their real-world impact, break down how you actually implement them, and finally, we'll take a little peek into the future of customer support. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the big picture here. The pressure on customer service teams today is just immense. I mean, the demand for a smarter, faster, more personal solution, it's not just a nice-to-have feature anymore. Nope. It is quickly, and I mean quickly, becoming the new standard.
And look, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky, far-off future we're talking about. Gartner is predicting that by 2025, which is basically right around the corner, a staggering 80% of service teams will be using generative AI. Just let that number sink in for a second. That pace of adoption is incredible. This is no longer an experiment, folks. It's the new benchmark.
Okay, but to really get what's happening in this revolution, we've got to be super clear about what we're actually talking about. Because this isn't just a slightly better chatbot. Not at all. We're looking at a whole new category of technology here. A massive leap beyond those frustrating, rule-based bots that we've all come to dread. So let's nail down this key term. What is an AI agent? You might also hear it called an intelligent virtual assistant. At its core, it's software that can handle an entire customer request all on its own. It's not just matching keywords like old-school bots. No, it uses conversational AI to actually understand the meaning behind what you're saying, the context, your intent, and then it creates an answer dynamically, right on the fly.
And the difference really just jumps out at you when you put them side by side. Think about it. A traditional chatbot is stuck on this rigid, fixed script. If you ask something it doesn't expect, it just breaks. An AI agent, on the other hand, is built to adapt in real time. It gets the context, it creates responses that make sense for the situation, and here's the real game changer, it learns. It's continuously improving with every single conversation it has. And look, this isn't just theory. We're already seeing the results out there in the real world. A report from Salesforce found that a whopping 92% of leaders at companies that are using AI say it is directly helping them deliver better customer service. 92%. The proof, as they say, is in the pudding. Or in this case, the customer experience. Okay, this all sounds great, right? But what can these agents actually do? What's the real-world impact on the business? What's the ROI? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and break down the core capabilities and the actual value they create. You can almost think of it like a set of superpowers for your support team. First off, they're always on. We're talking instant, 24/7 availability. They're also multilingual and can meet your customers wherever they are on any channel. A huge one is that they take care of all the routine, repetitive questions, which frees up your human agents to focus on the really complex, tricky issues. And this part is crucial. They know their own limits. When something is too complex, they can seamlessly hand the conversation over to a person without missing a beat.
And that capability translates directly into one thing: speed. A study from Gorgeous found that teams using AI resolve tickets 52% faster than teams that don't. 52%. That is basically cutting the time it takes to solve a problem in half. That is a massive, massive lever for improving customer satisfaction.
And you know what that newfound speed and efficiency does? It hits the bottom line big time. McKinsey found that companies bringing in this tech are seeing, on average, a 35% reduction in their customer service operating costs. A number like that? Wow. It makes the business case pretty much undeniable.
But honestly, the real strategic shift here isn't just about being faster or cheaper. The benefits go so much deeper than that. We're talking about the ability to use customer data to create truly hyper-personalized interactions. We're talking about sentiment analysis that can actually detect a customer's emotion, like frustration. And maybe most importantly, it lets us move toward proactive support.
anticipating a customer's needs before they even have to ask for help. All right, so the benefits are pretty clear, but I bet you might be thinking, okay, this sounds complicated to actually implement. So how does a company really get started with this? Let's walk through a simple 5-stage guide to make this AI a reality.
So the process really does follow a clear path. First, you have to define your use cases. You can't just automate everything at once, so you pinpoint the biggest, most common customer pain points and start there. Next, you choose your tech stack. Now, step 3. This one is probably the most critical of all, training the model. This means you have to feed it high-quality data, past conversations, your knowledge base, all of it, because, garbage in, garbage out. After that, you integrate it with your systems and test it out with a small pilot group. And then the final step, you go live and use all that real-world feedback to optimize and make it smarter and smarter over time. It's really a cycle, not just a one-and-done setup.
Okay, so we've covered the here and now, but where is all of this headed? For our last section, let's look out at the horizon, at the trends that are getting ready to completely reshape what we even mean when we say customer support. The next big wave, without a doubt, is true hyper-personalization. And I'm not just talking about using a customer's first name in an email. Forget that. I want you to imagine a generative AI that can literally compose a brand new, uniquely crafted solution or recommendation for every single customer in real time, pulling from their entire history with your company. That's a whole other level. But the ultimate goal, well, it's even more revolutionary. It's the shift from reactive service to predictive service. Just imagine systems that can predict and resolve issues before you even know there's a problem. For example, your internet provider's AI might notice a tiny dip in your signal strength and just automatically reboot your router to fix it, preventing an outage that you never even experience. That's the core idea behind self-healing systems. They don't just solve problems, they stop them from ever happening in the first place.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As this technology keeps evolving, and as service becomes truly genuinely predictive, you have to wonder, will we eventually reach a point where a customer never even needs to ask for help in the first place?